delighted to be joined by Ben Shalom. Had a huge weekend, Ben, for Richard Riakporhe next weekend.
Yeah, massive for Richard. Risky fight. He was obviously meant to fight Fabio Turchi, which was almost an eliminator for the number 2 position in the IBF. So, bit of a change of plan. Kell Brook got injured. Freed Eubank Jr. up, and it's almost look. It's a tough fight for Richard to take. It's almost a lose-lose because he's expected to deal with him, but he's fighting an extremely tough fighter that has been avoided by pretty much all the other cruiserweights, and he's beaten all this domestic competition in the past, and this is another one, and this is one the fans prefer. They love it. 2 British guys, 2 unbeaten guys, same again. Dan Aziz is also going to fight Matthew Tink, who's an unbeaten light heavyweight as chief supporter. That's what we've done so far, and I expect it. The interest since announcing that from a ticket perspective is completely different, and I think although it's not the best fight for Richard, for the fans, they love it.
When you look at Richard's career, he had that long layoff, 2 victories now under the Boxer Sky Sports label in recent time. 2022, do you think he will get a world title fight if he gets past a challenge like the one ahead this weekend?
100%. We know where this is going to land. We know how we're going to get Richard his world title. We're convinced of that, and that's why this is such a big risk. I do expect Richard to deal with him. I think Richard's a quality operator. He's improved as a boxer even more than when he used to just blast out guys, and so it's an exciting fight. But as you say, it's one actually that for his profile will do more than Fabio Turchi. There'll be more eyeballs on this. There'll be more people watching it. Sky will. It's easier for them to promote. And so, after that, I do expect him to get a world title, and hopefully by the end of the year. And but as you say, he's got to come through tests like this if he wants to be a world champion.
Incredible start to the year for boxer when you look at what happened in February, but it just makes the fans even more thirsty for more. So, what else can we look ahead to in the next few months?
We made a commitment that we're going to invest in the grassroots of the sport as well. So our tournament was really successful last year. It's a Liverpool tournament. Corey Gibbs came out with it, got a contract with us, and that did really well. We've announced 2 of them. First one in Coventry, second one in Sheffield, lightweight and then cruiserweight. We've got 2 fight nights back to back, again just to develop. Savannah's has to defend a world title. Florian Marcu needs to step up and fight Chris Jenkins, and then we are into a big May. We're about to announce a May 7th card, which will be on par with February, and we've got to look. People have to realise our first show was October the 2nd. It's been crazy. We've worked incredibly hard. We've put on 2 of the biggest Sky Sports main events they've ever had, if not better than anything they've ever had from a numbers perspective. And we wanted to prove that we could do that, and now we're starting to see fighters wanting to sign with us, and the momentum's with us. But it's almost like to the fans, we've been in since October 2nd. You've got to understand this is a process, and we're excited about the year, and we're moving way ahead of schedule.
So a bit of patience required. I want to speak to you about Chris Eubank Jr. Obviously, impressive victory at times against Liam Williams. What do you think is next for him? Because he's talking either a big fight or a world title fight. It looks like a lot of the world titles taken up at the moment. What do you think it will be next for him?
I think it's exactly that. I think there is actually a world title opportunity that we're working on at the moment, that Caller's working on, I know, in particular, and we're talking about that, but obviously he does want the Kell Brook fight. It requires Kell to come up, it requires Chris to come down. If they're both sensible, it will happen. But whether Chris can get down to 154, 155, I don't know. Chris is ready for big fights now. I thought he performed pretty well. I think he feels comfortable with Roy Jones. He's been with him a long time now, so he needs the big fights. I think he'll fight a big fight. I think you're going to look at June, July for Chris Eubank Jr. in a big fight, and there is options. And we're sort of keeping our cards close to our chest for now. But I expect him to be in a big fight June, July.
You mentioned Kell Brook there. What is the latest situation when it comes to a potential rematch? Because, of course, Amir Khan has got that clause in the contract, and it looks like he doesn't think he's done yet with boxing. So what's your latest understanding?
Latest understanding is he wants to continue. It would have been a great way to go out. He looked incredible. What a performance. It was almost the best night of his life. He's still on cloud 9, but he looked in great shape, and Dominic Ingle thinks he can carry on, and so he'll believe he can carry on, but only for the right fight on the right terms. And there's a couple out there, as we know, but unless the terms are right, Kell doesn't need it. And he'll assess it in, I think, the next couple of weeks. And whether he has one more or two more, I don't know. But look, he's definitely got the appetite for it, and why not?
Is that rematch with Amir Khan a realistic possibility, do you think?
I don't think so. I think Amir, one thing I've realised is he's not going to stop fighting, whether I give him the rematch or not. And that's up to him. You know, he's a fighter. He knows what happened in that fight better than any of us. And yeah, he won't stop. I'm convinced from hearing what the camp is saying, from hearing what he's saying, he wants to continue. He feel like he got his camp wrong and what went on wrong, and that's up to him. I don't think the rematch is viable right now, but he wants to continue.
What happens if he does trigger that rematch clause?
Look, it has to work commercially. You know, people might think, oh, you know, Ben's in trouble here. Honestly, we're all right. It has to work commercially.
So it's not a case of him simply saying, right, I want the rematch, and it happens.
No. It has to work. It's a split as well. It's not, you know, it's up to him, but it's also Kell and Sky have to agree. And so, yeah, we'll see. Look, he's got a couple of weeks to decide what he wants to do, and it's up to him at the end of the day. But I don't think it'll be the rematch.
That brilliant February concluded with what was a huge night in Glasgow. Jack Catterall against Josh Taylor. People still speaking about it now. The fallout rumbles on. As far as you're concerned, as the boxer promoter, are you done with that now, or would you like to try and create that rematch, even though Josh Taylor, it seems unlikely he wants to do it again at 140?
It'd be great to do the rematch. I think that's a massive fight in the catchweight, 142, 143, 144. That's a huge fight for British boxing. I think there's so much story there now. I think we'd love to do that. That in Manchester is a serious fight. But Jack has his world title ambitions as well at 140 now. Josh will go up to 147 and do what he needs to do. So that fight can definitely happen. It still rumbles on, and we believe the judges still needs to be looked at, and the judges, just spoken in previous interviews, we are doing as much as we can behind the scenes now to put something robust forward, and recommendation on how we might go forward with more transparent scoring, using technology, trying to minimise those things happening again, because it can't. And already, even last week, it's Andy Ryan. When you look at the scorecards, you're thinking, Jesus, what's going on? But for those two, they've got massive futures, both of them. Credit to the sport, both of them. And Jack will want world titles, and Josh will want to go and conquer 147.
Final question. AJ potentially looking for an interim opponent this summer.
Yeah.
Willing to put forward someone from your stable?
I actually think Otto Wallin's a perfect opponent. I think Southpaw. I know he's available. I know he'd love that fight with Dimitri, and I think that's the perfect fight perhaps for AJ. I know other names are being thrown around, but I'm not sure how realistic that is, and I think that's the right opponent. Solid opponent, good opponent, and I think that's one he should try and take advantage of while he has to wait to see what happens with Usyk.